Ablutophobia. Ablutophobia, an extreme and irrational fear of bathing, washing, and cleaning oneself, can be an extremely debilitating phobia that has a significant negative impact on many aspects of an individual's life, including their mental and physical health. Chorophobia. Chorophobia is the fear of dancing. People suffering from chorophobia will do anything and everything to avoid dancing of any form or kind. Any event, person, or situation that resembles, relates to, or symbolizes dancing can trigger this fear of dancing. Cacophobia. Cacophobia is an intense fear of ugliness. People with this anxiety disorder may fear becoming ugly, or they might have symptoms of panic and anxiety when they think about or see something ugly. Cacophobia is one of only a few phobias that are subjective instead of objective. The individual determines what's ugly and therefore scary. Decidophobia. Decidophobia is defined as the irrational fear of making decisions. In its most extreme form, those who have this fear may experience full-blown panic attacks when even thinking about having to make a decision. Panic attacks cause your heart rate and breathing to speed up, blood pressure to rise, sweating, muscle tension, and trembling. Dendrophobia. People with dendrophobia have a fear of trees. Someone with dendrophobia may have extreme fear or anxiety when thinking about or seeing trees. They may stop walking outside or driving just to avoid trees. In severe cases, people may stop leaving their houses altogether. Koumpounophobia. Koumpounophobia is the term used to describe the phobia of close buttons. This phobia regularly leads to feelings of fear and disgust when sufferers are exposed to buttons either visually or physically. The most common forms of treatment for Koumpounophobia are behavioral therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy. Sesquipedalophobia. Sesquipedalophobia is the fear of long words. Also known as Sesquipedalophobia, this ironically named phobia is based on a Latin term that means long word. Almost everyone can struggle with pronouncing or understanding a long word at times. For some people, Sesquipedalophobia is a social phobia when it involves reading aloud or using long words in a social context. Gelotophobia. Gelotophobia is also known as a fear of laughter or being laughed at. A person suffering from gelotophobia may hear a stranger's laugh and believe it is aimed at him or her. They have a fear of being ridiculed and, unfortunately, often cannot distinguish playful teasing from ridicule. Gelotophobes either do not understand what laughter is, or they think it is directed at them in a negative, malicious way and feel scared when they hear it. Anthophobia. Anthophobia is an extreme fear of flowers. People can experience fear of all flowers or a specific type of flower. They may also experience fear of the whole plant or parts of the plant. For example, a person may be afraid of all roses, or they may be afraid of rose stems or petals. Ephebiphobia. Ephebiphobia is the fear of teenagers or youth. People with ephebiphobia might avoid places where teenagers are likely to be and even struggle when it comes to relationships with family and friends. And it can have a serious impact on their lives. Selenophobia. Selenophobia is an intense fear of the moon. People with selenophobia may feel anxious or distressed when thinking about the moon. They may avoid looking at the moon or going out at night. They may even suffer panic attacks. Pogonophobia. Pogonophobia is an extreme fear of beards. Someone with pogonophobia may feel severe anxiety or panic around people with beards. They may also feel this way if they see a photo or video of someone with a beard. They might fear long, full beards, or any type of facial hair such as a mustache or goatee. The condition can also make people scared of real beards or artificial beards that are part of costumes. Nomophobia. Nomophobia is a word for the fear of or anxiety caused by not having a working mobile phone. It has been considered a symptom or syndrome of problematic digital media use in mental health, the definitions of which are not standardized for technical and genetical reasons. Mysophobia. Mysophobia is an extreme fear of germs. You may go out of your way to avoid situations that expose you to germs. The phobia and steps you take to avoid it worsen over time. You may find yourself stuck in a cycle of repetitive behaviors that affect your quality of life, similar to obsessive-compulsive disorder. Siderodromophobia. Siderodromophobia, or the fear of trains, is a broadly encompassing diagnosis that includes all concerns related to trains. Some people fear crashing, while others are afraid of the lack of control. Still, others do not directly fear trains, but find them to be a trigger for other phobias such as claustrophobia, agoraphobia, travel phobia, or germ phobia. Venustraphobia. Venustraphobia, also known as Xenophobia, is a fear of beautiful women. Mostly it develops because of negative outcomes to interactions with beautiful women. It creates a fear in mind that they might be harmful somehow, and therefore any thought of future interaction results in fear. Telephonophobia. Telephonophobia is reluctance or fear of making or taking phone calls, literally, fear of telephones. It is considered to be a type of social phobia or social anxiety. It may be compared to glossophobia in that both arise from having to engage with an audience and the associated fear of being criticized, judged, or made a fool of. Technophobia. Technophobia is an overwhelming fear of technology. People with technophobia may fear computers, cell phones, or the powers of artificial intelligence. It is most common in older adults and people who are generally anxious about the future. Taphophobia. Taphophobia is the irrational fear of being buried alive. It is closely related to other phobias such as fear of death, thanatophobia, fear of tombstones, placophobia, fear of cemeteries, koimetrophobia, and fear of tight and enclosed spaces, claustrophobia. Triskaidekaphobia. Triskaidekaphobia, or fear of the number 13, does not fit neatly into a clinical definition of a specific phobia. In order for a phobia to be diagnosed, it must significantly impact the sufferer's life. Most people with triskaidekaphobia find that their fear only arises in certain situations and does not significantly impair their lives. Cynophobia. Cynophobia is an extreme fear of dogs. The name of this phobia comes from cyno, the Greek word for dog. Children and adults with this disorder go out of their way to avoid dogs. They may have severe anxiety or a full panic attack when hearing a dog bark, watching a movie about a dog, or going to a place where a dog might be. Ombrophobia. Ombrophobia is an intense fear of rain, from intense weather to a drizzle. An ombrophobe might worry about acid rain, germs in rain, floods, or other dangers. Ombrophobia is a type of anxiety disorder that can cause symptoms and emotions that affect daily life. Zelophobia. Zelophobia is the fear of jealousy. Some people who suffer from zelophobia are so severely impacted that they repress all emotions. This can lead to the individual feeling no emotions at all, which may lead to more detrimental mental health problems. Typical to most phobias, the person suffering with zelophobia has experienced some form of trauma during their life. Xenophobia. Xenophobia, or fear of strangers, is a broad term that may be applied to any fear of someone different from an individual. Hostility towards outsiders is often a reaction to fear. Xenophobia as a determinant of health, an integrative review. It typically involves the belief that there is a conflict between an individual's in-group and an out-group. Phobophobia. Phobophobia is a fear of being afraid. You might be scared of the physical symptoms that come with fear, or feel worried that you could develop a phobia. Many people with phobophobia already have other phobias or mental health disorders. See you in the next video.